Hi, my name is Roy Hager with Hydrolux Systems. Today I'm going to be walking you through some basic testings, things that we would test for in the water when it comes to treating the water for well water as well as city water. With city water, we're going to be testing for chlorine, chloramine, and hardness. Hardness is inorganic calcium and rock and debris in the water. This shows up in the home as water spots or scale buildup, clogs up your shower heads and fixtures and things of that sort. Chlorine is a sterilizer for the water. That is what they use to keep the water relatively safe to drink. For me, chlorine is kind of like buying an item from an online store. The item doesn't just show up in your mailbox. It comes in a nice protective box. That's kind of what the chlorine does for our water. As it travels through miles and miles of infrastructure, it can pick up stuff along the way. And that's what that chlorine is, that protective layer that keeps the water safe to drink once it gets to your home. However, once it's gotten here, we can remove the item from the box or the chlorine from the water so that we're not cooking, bathing, or drinking in it. When it comes also to the pH, the city is going to do the best they can. They can't have whole subdivisions with bluish green stains in your toilets and sinks when they try to sell homes. Same with iron in the water. So the county is going to be sure to strip that stuff out. So what you're going to be left with is some hardness as well as some chlorine and chloramine. We could do a quick hardness test for you. Hardness is measured in grains per gallon, and we generally start to treat hardness at around 3. 10 is considered very hard water. When we're testing the water, we have to add a few different chemicals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And red water shows hard water, blue water shows soft water. So you can see this is our water here, and we have a reddish color, so that indicates that the water is hard. This is a complex sodium phosphate, or a water softener. 1 drop equals 1 grain per gallon. We're going to add drops until the water turns blue. And again, we start to treat at 3. 10 is considered very hard. That was 2. That's 4. Starting to change there now. And 5. So there's that nice royal blue color we're looking for. So right at 5 grains hard. It's not terrible, but it's not the best either. It's right there in that range where you would definitely benefit from having a water softener in the home. And we would use a water softener to remove the inorganic calciums and rock and debris from the water. The next thing we would tend to look at for city water is going to be chlorine and chloramine. The ideal level for a pool, for the frame of reference, is right at 2 parts per million. So let's see what we've got here today. And chlorine will also fluctuate throughout the year. Generally, it's a little bit higher in the summer and lower in the winter months. But that doesn't mean the county can't flush the lines and really super chlorinate the water. That's where water treatment comes in. It provides you with that consistent water quality. And the levels are looking pretty low today, which is good. These are the colors that we look for, and you can see we're not anywhere near any of that. So I would say potentially that there is a nice carbon filter already installed in this home. And when it comes to pH, we want to be again at 7.0. This is more for well water, but just for demonstration purposes to show you what colors we're looking for and to show that the city is doing the best they can to give us quality water in our homes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we want it to be a nice greenish color, which is going to indicate right at 7.0. And this is our color tab. And you can see the nice greenish color down here at 7.0, and we're lining up beautifully with that. So as I said, that pH is in a good area and the water is ready to be treated. And that keeps the corrosiveness out of the water. Next thing we can look at is iron, which on city water, we're going to get 0. But you can see these tests go very fast. It is a rapid test, so it's something that we can come out to your home at no charge and perform these tests right at your kitchen sink to get a baseline to see if you need any treatment, and if you do, what's going to be the proper equipment for you and your family. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there's also TDS, which is total dissolved solids. That's a good indicator of whether you need a reverse osmosis or not. maximum contamination level is around 500. We start to talk about reverse osmosis at around 250, and good drinking water is considered to be below 90. This is our iron reading here. As we can see, everything's just as clear as a bell. On well water, once you start getting below a half a part, that's when we start talking about iron filters right away. So TDS, again, is total dissolved solids. We can check that out real quick for you here. And as I said, 500 is maximum contamination. 250 we will talk about, and good drinking water is considered to be below 90. You see we're sitting right at about 81 or 83. So overall, water softener, carbon filter, the water in this home is going to be ready to rock and roll and give you nothing but good, clean Hydrolux water system water.